We saw that our main protagonist, Touya, was resurrected in a magical world where he made new friends and became acquainted with some important figures such as a duke and the king, and one day Touya saved the king's life, and even apprehended the traitor, as a result of which the princess was impressed by Touya and announced her intention to marry him. So the king awarded him a mansion for his bravery in apprehending the traitor and for saving his life. Later, Duke requested Touya's assistance because his brother the king needed to meet with the king of a neighboring kingdom for diplomatic purposes but couldn't because of the recent assassination attempt. So they decided to travel to the neighboring kingdom because Touya could only use his gate spell to create a gate to places he'd been. And while they were on their way they saved a town from a dragon's attack. As the narrative progresses, the villagers took a dragon's fang and gave it to Touya as a token of their appreciation for saving their town. When they all reached Mesmede's capital later that day and met the king, Yumina gave him the letter her father had personally written for him for their further ties in the future. When the king learned that Touya had defeated a dragon, he challenged Touya to a duel for entertainment. However, as the combat got underway, Touya managed to defeat the king with a single no-magic spell slip. The magic prevents them from even engaging in combat, thus the king objected to it. However, the king's no-magic spell allowed him to gain upper hand in the second round. So Touya quickly imitated it as well. Touya and the king were equal match after mimicking the king's no-magic spell, so Touya combined his two no-magic spells and defeated the king. The king later that day hosted a banquet for the Touya and his friends. Touya was exhausted and had been sitting aside, but after that, a strange teddy bear appeared and asked Touya to follow him. The teddy then took him to a fairy race elder named Lean. Lean was proficient in no magic and her spell could turn any non-living thing into her puppet, but she was surprised to see Touya instantly copied the spell. And when she discovered that Touya had a natural affinity for every element, she wanted to take Touya as her new apprentice, but Touya resisted the idea strongly. Later, Touya created a gun for himself and for Lin and Yumina using the dragon fang he had obtained. Later that day, though, Touya became aware that someone was watching them from a distance and soon apprehended the stalkers. He then understood that the stalkers were actually his own maid, who had been covertly keeping an eye on them at the king's order to keep Yumina safe from any harm. But because Yumina dislikes being watched, Touya need to stay quiet about this so they can guard her safety from the shadow. Since their purpose for visiting Mesmede has been satisfied, they gradually make their way back home in Belfast. After some time, Lean and Charlotte, who is Lean's apprentice, came to see Touya. Lean has now disclosed that she intended to examine eastern ruins and that she intended to enter eastern territory using Touya's gate spell. Lean taught Touya a memory copying spell, and with it, he duplicated Yai's memory of her hometown in the east because Touya can only open gates to locations he has already seen. Lean expressed a desire to visit the Naruya ruins after arriving in east, however, Yai had never heard of that location, so they decided to ask her father for information on it. However, once they came to Yai's house, they learnt from her mother that their clan and the neighboring clan had started a war with them, thus Yai's father and brother are now defending the Kawagai stronghold. Naturally, Touya and his group choose to assist them in the fight but they saw that a large army of zombie soldiers was encircling the Kawagai stronghold. Touya then entered the fortress using his gate spell, where he encountered Yai's older brother Jotaro. Then Touya used his phone to locate each zombie and cast a single spell to end their lives. However, while meeting with the leader, a messenger from the Takeda clan arrived with news that their clan had been taken over by a dark mage. Their clan general was also imprisoned, so they need their help to save their clan from the dark mage. So Touya decided to assist them and free the general, but they then decided to take on the dark mage in order to save their clan. After coming upon the dark mage and recognizing the eye he was using to command the army of the dead, Touya used no magic to seize the eye and vanquish the bad mage. After defeating him, Touya learned the location of the Naruya ruins from Taketa's general and built a gate to get there. Touya wanted to have some fun since they were already at the beach, so he invited everyone he knew to relax a little bit with them. Touya then dove into the water to investigate the underwater ruin but was unable to get there due to a lack of air. Touya therefore called forth the another powerful beast known as the Black Emperor in order to function underwater. However, the Dark Emperor challenged Touya to a duel in order to assess his skills. Touya defeated the Black Emperor by using his bullet that had been enchanted with slip magic. So now Touya forged a pact with them and named them Kokoyo and Sango. And with their assistance Touya reached to the ruins easily. However, Touya unintentionally opened a portal while investigating the ruin, which sent him teleporting to an unidentified location. When Francesca, a girl, arrived there in just her underwear, Touya instructed her to change into some pants. She attempted to seduce Touya, but she was unsuccessful. Later, she revealed that the location is a floating island called Babylon. She was also created around 5,000 years ago by Professor Regina. Regina built this island in an effort of recreation, and now Touya will take control of it as its owner. Like Touya, Regina had an affinity for all the elements, thus she wished to give the island's ownership to someone deserving of it. Then Lean adds that there are 8 additional islands that are also from the same old era, but that Francesca lost contact with them, so no one knows where they are. As a result, Francesca kissed Touya in order to obtain his DNA sample in front of everyone and transfer the ownership totally to Touya. Seeing that Lin used the opportunity to kiss Touya to show her feeling towards him, being envious. After feeling left out, Yumina, Els, and Yai expressed their love for Touya. Touya, though, needs some time to consider how he feels about everyone. As a result, Francesca connected her mechanical body to her creator to deliver Regina's message. Since Regina was able to see into the future, she made a note of every response for Touya's every question. She stopped looking into the future since she believed the entire planet would be destroyed because she can see into the future and saw that the world will be practically wiped out with the abrupt emergence of the crystal monster. The planet was saved when the crystal monster suddenly vanished, but her ancient civilization was completely destroyed in the process. Now that world was safe once more, Regina began to peek into the future. When she spotted Touya, her interest was piqued, and she began to research his next adventures as well. Given that she saw his destiny, Touya wanted to know how to solve his present circumstance, but Regina refused to reveal it. Touya went to the god for guidance, and the god made a call to the goddess of love, who gave Touya some suggestions on how to handle his current position with the ladies. Touya took her advice into consideration and consented to marry all 4 of them, but only under the condition that he wanted to be an adult first so he could take care of them and protect them in the future. So with that, our anime comes to an end. For more shortest anime recaps, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the most recent updates. Until next time, everyone stay safe.